So we're going to clean this knife up a little bit and then do some preventative maintenance on it. I don't know how well it shows up. Yeah, okay, there we go. Have some surface rust along the blade. You can see it real well along the spine. Maybe. Anyway, we're going to clean that up and then where's it at? More to find over on this side. Maybe. Okay, there we go. We have a couple burrs on the blade. I already straightened them out with butcher's steel, but we're just going to go ahead and take those out. Alright, so to get the surface rust off, let's take one of these steel dishwasher thingies. Maybe. And just very nice. You can take one of these steel dishwasher thingers, just buff them out. Gotta find a good way to prop this phone up. If we set it there in the counter. Yeah, that'll work. Got a little bit more.
Daddy.
What?
We get food.
What you got?
Food.
Oh, nice, bud. Very cool. Mm-hmm. Alright, I'll play with you in a little bit, kid. Hmm? Mm. Alright, looks like just a little bit more. What, son? Mm-hmm. Looks good. What? Okay, go play with it. Okay, and then I've already kind of sharpened, touched up all along here. I think maybe I had it too sharp, that's why I got those burrs. But down here, I've not been able to get a good edge on because my stone, I don't know how well it will show up. It floats with the curvature. It just cannot touch the whole blade at once. So I tried to cut it in half, which I don't have a good way to, and I ended up just cracking my little stone into a bunch of pieces, and then my bigger stone obviously won't get in there. But I'm going to try to use this little slab just to touch up in that area. No, we'll actually sharpen it. Sharpen it up last. I'm gonna get those burrs out first. So get the burrs out. Just want to grab a bastard file, and yeah, you just take off a little bit. You don't want to take too much, obviously. Let's see if I can get in here good. Yeah. Oh, okay. What did the doctor help you with?
My bone.
He helped you with your bone?
My bone. Huh?
Oh, that's awkward. What? Go play in the living room, kiddo. River, go play. Dad's busy. I told you I'd play with you in a little bit. Alright, now one is out. Just doing this other one and it's about gone too. Alright, there is a little bit of a burr still there, but good enough. Now to prevent it from rusting in the future, going to just force a patina on it using some vinegar. What you want to do is just some vinegar boiling and then soak the blade of the knife in there. The issue I'm worried I'm going to run into is it's just not going to all fit in there. And I don't have a tall enough, skinny enough pot to make it work, so I have to work. I'm just going to try to ladle it up onto what's left of the blade. I don't want to flip it around and soak the wood into the vinegar. While that's getting ready to boil, might as well go ahead and try to buff those issues out a little bit. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the little stone. I'm not too worried about getting it razor sharp or getting out a nicer stone for it or anything. I know a lot of people use water with their stones, and maybe that's the way to do it. I am not the best sharpener by any shape of the imagination, but I always use like a mineral oil or sometimes a vegetable oil, just stuff I have around the house that will kind of oil up the blade while I'm in the process of sharpening it. Oh, this is awkward. Hold on. Okay, so the vinegar's getting not quite boiling, but that's okay. You don't want it quite boiling anyway. And a big reason that I'm going to go ahead and sharpen the blade afterwards is because I mentioned that I like to use oil to sharpen it up. And the next thing you want to do is just take some rubbing alcohol. And you really want to clean this blade up. You don't want there to be any oils in the blade or dirt or grime or anything. It's going to stop it from taking a patina as well, so you don't need to go crazy with it. You just kind of rub it down, give it a decent cleaning with the rubbing alcohol. Come over here, just go ahead and put it in the pot and we'll let it sit for a minute. Now you can kind of see that there's some bubbles forming on the blade and that it looks a little bit darker, and on first glance, yeah, see all the steam coming off? First glance you might just think that's because of the temperature or that the vinegar is boiling, but that's it actually doing whatever chemical reaction it has with the blade. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but if we pull it out, you can see that the blade itself is a different color. Now it will be darker, but when that's wiped off, it won't be as dark for sure. Flip this over, see if we can get as much vinegar onto as much of the blade as we can. And this is the part that I'm a little unsure on. We're just going to try to ladle up onto the remaining part of the blade. Don't we have a metal spoon, baby?
What?
Don't we have a big metal spoon?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, phone right there. That works okay. Making a bit of a mess. Yeah, it's working okay. I mean, it's not as good as dunking it, but it's certainly working okay. Bring that temperature down just a little bit. we're just going to do a little test section and see what this vinegar actually will do to the wood. Well, it's hard to be certain, but I think it will be okay, so. Yeah, we're just going to flip it over. I just need to grab, and this will work. Just do a real quick dunk, because like I said, I'm not entirely sure what that is going to do to the wood. Just oil it up real good afterwards. Now we can get the whole knife. I want to leave it in there upside down longer. I'm just nervous to. Well, looks like it's drying the wood out a whole lot, but it doesn't seem like it's doing any sort of real damage. We'll flip it and do it a second more that way. So I think I'm done with the flipping it over. I don't know how well it shows up on the phone, but there is some floaties in there I'm worried is coming from the wood handle, so maybe if somebody knows better they could leave a comment, or if not, then better safe than sorry for whoever's to go after me. But this is looking like it is getting up there and getting it done, so. So doing this isn't going to make it as resistant as, like, say, stainless steel, but I do this with all of my non-stainless blades, and it definitely seems to help. You still have to keep it oiled up and occasionally buff out some rust on it. What, buddy? No, I'm not cooking dinner. I'm messing with my knife, buddy. So it's definitely not shiny like it was. Some of this is some soot that will wipe off, like I was saying, but the blade is definitely going to be a darker color, and if you're looking for a darker color, then using apple cider vinegar really darkens it up. I have another blade that I'll pull out and show here in a second that I've done with apple cider vinegar, and it darkened it up quite a bit. Okay, so how I said it is darker, but some of this will wipe off. Well, I've about wiped off what will come off, but as you use it, some of this will continue to wear. This is my tomahawk, for example, and I've done the same thing, and this is what it looks like now, so it will lighten up from here. Now, I mentioned the apple cider vinegar. This is my ninth, and I did it with the apple cider vinegar. I don't know if it's the still composition or the type of vinegar, but it is much, much darker. And I'm glad I grabbed this because I have quite a bit of surface rust right there that I need to clean up. I must not have, been paying as good attention to this blade as I thought I had been. So from there, I'll go ahead and put more of an edge on this blade, and then we're going to go through and kind of give these handles some love, because dunking it in that vinegar really dried them out quite a bit. Okay, how I said that this blade has some surface rust on it, just real quick, well, it's fresh on my mind and I already have the vinegar out. I mean, it cleans right up. And that rust obviously didn't penetrate too far because of the vinegar bath. No, I was thinking I would throw this back in the vinegar, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah, it's got plenty of edge in it too. So, I'm kind of new to kukris. This is my first one, and I've had it out on one adventure prior to this. But from everything I've learned about them, you want to sharpen right up here on this tip so you can get in to do some finer tasks, and same with back here for some whittling. But this section here, when you're chopping with it, which I was very impressed with what this was able to do, you want to leave kind of dull so you don't round the edge over, which I think I may put too much of an edge on it the first time, and taking that file to it certainly screwed up here, and I was never able to get much of an edge there like I was saying. But I was surprised. Typically when I go out, I bring these and then a folding saw, and this obviously didn't process wood as well as my tomahawk, and it didn't do fine carving or smaller camp chores as well as my small fix blade. I was very impressed at how versatile it was. Alright, so we're going to start out on the medium stone, and then take some baby oil. And this stone is pretty dirty, so don't stress out too much about keeping stones cleaned or anything like that. But just before we start, put a little more oil. There we go. I'm going to pause it while I touch this up. On second thought, I'll do a couple strokes just so people can see. And like I said, I am not the best knife sharpener, and there are 1,000 videos telling you 1,000 different ways, so this is just the way I do it. Come in here, just kind of follow the stroke of the blade through. Do that a couple times. More. Then come back through and just the same motion on the other side for the same amount of strokes. It might have actually been one more. Okay, so I was able to touch it up a little bit. I was a little cautious about putting too much of an edge on it where I had issues the last time, so I might want to go back and touch it up, but yeah, see how it goes. So I like to clean the blade up with baby oil, and I like to do wood scales and leather with just some cooking oil. Now, kind of a warning about the cooking oil, it will stain the material, especially leather. So, two of the same knife, and I have owned this one much longer. This is actually my first knife. Had this for a very long time, but comes in a lighter color. I have done this sheath and this knife a few times, but not to the same level that I've done the other one, and you can see how much darker the one is. And looks wet. It's not, it's just a glare on the camera. In fact, I should probably do this one again. You can see that the stacked leather handle could use a little bit right there. Anyway, it will change the color. But yeah, set these off to the side. Just gonna grab some paper towels and try to clean this blade up a little bit more before we go ahead and oil it up. Yeah, you can see that patina. That's exactly what it'll do. That's not something on the blade. That's just what it does. These lines and things like that. A design. A lot of people will force designs in there. I've seen videos of people using mustard especially, but I have never tried anything like that. So and I bet this steel is just going to be thirsty. I know the wood is. I can feel how dry the wood is. Not only is the keeping your blade oiled up good for the longevity of the steel, but it also will prevent rust. Still wants more. So it'll soak it in, and when it stops just soaking it in, that's when you know that you're probably good. Like, that's almost dry to the touch, especially back here is dry to the touch. So alright, that looks pretty good on that side. Now we will go ahead and get this side oiled up. Yeah, where it's got a nice oil coat on it right there, that's exactly what you want, where it's no longer just sucking it in. So that will be good on the blade. We switch over and just essentially do the same thing to the handle, but with the cooking oil, and then we're going to go ahead and rub down the sheath as well. Oh yeah, that wood is just really soaking it in. Yeah, for I would not recommend dunking the handle in the vinegar like I did. I don't think we did any serious long-term damage or anything, but it's not something that I will be doing again. The wood just feels really coarse. I think maybe it started to strip whatever finish has been put on this wood off, but I'm gonna go ahead and just oil it up and call it good there. Okay. So the blade's good, and just do the exact same thing to the sheath. Now this doesn't work as good, obviously, as like some saddle soap or something designed as a leather treatment, but this is what I have been using for a lot of stuff. Not everything, like boots and jackets, obviously, but it works well. Keeps everything nice and hydrated. It doesn't crack and deteriorate. Get it up in there. A little bit more. Alright, and then another thing we'll do that I do on most of my stuff is, well, I don't imagine anybody's going to confuse the tomahawk with theirs, as I've kind of decorated it, and same with the knife. I mean, it's got lanyard on it, my wife's hair, and the bleach bath and aftermarket skills, or not bleach, vinegar, whatever the case. But just my dad does this with all of his tools, and we do it with all of our rock climbing equipment and stuff. But I'll just go ahead and engrave a little something in there, a little TB for myself, or like the pine trees are kind of, I don't know, if I had a logo, either that or moon and some stars. So let's go ahead and do that as well while we're at it. Not that that's really necessary to the maintenance of the blade, but just scratch it in there. Okay, not super pretty, but oops, dropped the phone. Alright, got a TV there. That was pretty crude, but now, it's mine. And I'll just go ahead and do kind of the same thing right here, but this time maybe we'll do a pine tree. Okay, even more crude, but just a little indicator to let it know, there's no confusing it with nobody else's. And then, that is the finished product. Depending on, your personal taste, you might actually like the look of the patina on it and a little bit darker color, better or worse than just how it originally looked. But the important thing is it will help prevent some rust. So, just a question for anybody. Hold on, I'll help you get a snack. The kukris come with these two little knives, a small little backup utility knife for finer tasks, and then this one here, which does not have an edge on it, and I know is supposed to be for honing the steel on the blade, but I tried to use it to buff out those little nicks in the blade, and just a butcher steel is what I ended up using. I have no intention to ever use this. Does anybody have any creative ideas on what I could put right there? Just leave a comment below. I tried a couple different ferrule rods. I don't currently have one that would fit it, but I'm kind of leaning towards that, and it is just barely too small of a slot for a lighter. But thanks for watching, and have a good day.